A Marine is characterized as one who possesses the highest of military virtues. He obeys all orders, respects his seniors, and strives constantly to be the very best at everything he does. Discipline and spirit are the hallmarks of a Marine. You too can become a Marine if you develop discipline and spirit. We will give every effort to train you, even after some of you have given up on yourself. You're listening to Two Marines, One Mic.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Marines, One Mic. As always, I'm Phil.
And this is Wade.
And we're your hosts. What? Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, Rudy fucking Reyes, man.
Today, 3 Marines.
I believe it.
Dude,
Thank you.
I'm so happy, man. We've had the opportunity. I think we did a full podcast before we did the podcast with Rudy.
We did.
And
Guns and steel, long axes of continents.
Yes, and we got a full on history lesson. So before we roll, let's get the purpose out of the way. Wade.
Sure.
The purpose of this podcast is to give you, the listener, and today the viewer, information, skills, and tools that we learned in the Marine Corps that if you apply to the civilian world, you could ultimately improve the quality of your life.
That was a little changed up. That's good. I like it.
I love it, bro.
I like it, man. I like it. And we got into this with Rudy a few minutes ago about why we do what we do and why Rudy's story and why Rudy's message and what he's doing now is so important to us. And we're super honored, number one, and really feel blessed myself that you're spending time with us, man. You told us how busy your schedule was, man, and it really means a lot.
Thank you,
Really
Phil.
does.
Well, you know what, man? Service never stops. I don't believe it does. You remember we're hardwired. We're hardwired to push, and we've all excelled when we were pushing for a collective and a greater mission than anything individual. And I know that all three of us have been so tired before, so fatigued before, so hurt before, physically broken up and injured before, and still somehow driving on because there's no way we would be the weak link for the squad or the team or the platoon. And it develops a level of spirituality and intelligence that many, unless they've been in that beautiful, prophetic environment, unless they've been there, they may not have developed. And I hope this can illuminate that for the citizens out there that have not been privy to that, and they will search for it in their lives. And then also reconnect our veterans to remind them just how special they are. That's my goal.
Dude, thank you so much, man. And I know usually what we'll do, man, we know your story pretty well, obviously not as good as some, but I love listening to it, man. So Rudy, if you will, man, just give everybody a quick 2-3 minute backstory, who you are, where you came from, why you do what you do.
Well, my name's Rudy Reyes, and I have two fathers. I was a bastard of a Marine who came from a lot of wealth from Mexico. And my mother was really pretty and young. And after his second tour of Vietnam, he was doing a lot of heroin, and he didn't want anything to do with anything in life. Now, it's interesting. I used to idealize him. I was hoping I would ever meet him. He died before I could meet him. I would have idealized that he would be this special man that gave me these abilities. But I found that he was I found that he gave me everything he could, and he just gave me the genetics to live. Well, but I then hated him too. I used to think, how could you quit? You let me grow up in squalor. You let me grow up hurt and abused and thrown away. How could you do that, And now we've all been older and seen what happens to men and women. And when we don't have support, even the strongest of us can fucking die. And even the strongest of us, even myself, I was almost gone too. So it's a long road back around. But I did have the dad that gave me his name, and he was a Marine as well. 0311, Rudy Reyes Sr.
Rah.
Yeah, and I only had him for 3 years growing up in my life until I was an adult. And God, he inspired me, and damn, bro, this is like in 1973. He already had his ab wheel. I was doing the ab wheel. And he had his dumbbells, and he was a policeman in Texas. hardcore back in those days on the border. To be real, all he loved to do is whoop fucking ass. After Vietnam, all he loved to do is fight in the streets. He rolled so many police cars. He threw his police car into so many trucks. It was the wild fucking West and the border back then. And he hadn't left Vietnam in his mind. Chasing women, drinking, and fighting. I mean, stuff that we now recognize as the off gas of extreme combat mindset and PTS. But God, he loved me, and he taught me to be strong and to have morals and character and to provide the protection for my two little brothers, because he grew up very hard on the border, Mexican-American, poor, absentee father, uneducated mother. And so later when my life fell apart, when I was with my mom, she gave us boys up. I continued to provide the protection I could for my brothers, and I had them train with me all the time. I've been training since I was a little boy, just making things up. I would just watch Bruce Lee or watch Stallone, and I watch Kung Fu theater, and I would just do everything that I saw them do. And then I read comic books, and I just tried to be like those heroes. It imprinted me so much. My dad got me in comic books when I was very small. After in high school, I became a wrestler. In junior high, I was a wrestler in Omaha, Nebraska. So I ended up in the Omaha Home for Boys. And the mentorship of men. Now, I've never really had real positive female role models, but I had men. And my dean of boys was also the wrestling coach, and he was also an orphan. Man, all of us needed, any of us needed, that come from a tough background, someone to believe in us. And that got me very far. I became a painter as well. And I was going to go to a prestigious art college, and I got a full ride. But I could not bring my little brothers with me. The barracks, or the dorms. I couldn't have Michael and Caesar there. So I chose to work, and I poured all that energy into more training and martial arts. And then I started doing Chinese martial arts and competing and kickboxing. Yet all this time, I eschewed the gun, because we come from the streets. There's gun violence all the time and gangbangers. I'm Mexican American. A lot of my community and even my cousins, they were in the drug game and the gang game. I pursued meditation, and I was a vegetarian, and I trained every single freaking day. So in the 20s, when other people were out there chasing chicks and getting messed up, I was doing like freaking standing meditation and martial arts all the time. And then I hear that that we're going to put boots on the ground in Kosovo, and by ethics alone, I said I have to go fight if other young men are going to go fight, possibly die. And I really didn't have I wasn't violent. I was aggressive, but not violent. The Marine Corps turned that passion, that aggression, that love into such pointed violence, creative violence, if you will. And it gave me everything I have to this day, and some things that I've worked hard on letting go. But I would not have this platform, brothers, if I did not join the Marine Corps and become a Recon Marine and go to war. So after I'd come back from war, like on my third trip back, and this one was from Fallujah and Ramadi, and it was very hot. And what I mean by hot, I mean hot in combat, hot. And I asked my Kung Fu teacher, Chu Nan Sit, he's from China, and he has an accent. He's so rad. He's so aggressive. I said, Sifu, were you worried that I would die? Are you worried? He goes, no, Ludi, it is written, you the hero. You first become champion. Nobody know my name, but they say that's Ludi's teacher. And so, of course, you have to go become soldier. You become soldier, you have to be hero. You have to go war, you come back. And now you have to become a success. He was saying this shit 12, 13 years ago. And I was like, I can barely get through the fucking day. I don't know about all this, but he was right. It had to be written this way. And that's why I wonder about the aliens too. Am I just genetically created by aliens to come down here for this hero's journey to bring the rest of us through it and help the rest of us? And if so, I'm all for it.
Dude, it's I'm so glad that you did that. I don't know if you watched the video that we sent you on Instagram the other day. So we watched the or we were listening to I think
Suit
you did a
Soldier.
podcast with Chris Coker with Suit Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh wow, how was that? I've never seen
It was really good.
It was
dude.
really good, man. You did
We
a great.
got
It
deep.
was a great
We got
podcast.
deep.
You got
Yeah.
deep. I actually took it, and you said some things in there that we were up at the Wounded Veteran Relief Fund, which is an organization that supports wounded vets post 9/11 here in West Palm. And we met a Marine Corps sniper that was told to us that
Andre.
was, going through some shit. And we
Yeah.
talked to him like briefly, but he's like, I just missed the adrenaline. I missed the,
Shit, yeah.
and you touched on that, and we haven't really heard too many people touch on it, but missing that adrenaline release. And so I copied and pasted it and sent it to Mike and Durkee and asked him to pass it on
Dude,
to him.
what was the term? Was it Rudy that said like I'm addicted to engagement?
Yeah. So
Yeah, totally. I'm event driven. I just heard from my commander, my old platoon commander, who's super high-minded, really legend Recon Marine, Colonel Dill, and he's just retiring now. Still surfing out in Hawaii, and still just very, very into. He turned me on to Jack Johnson way back in the day.
Oh,
And he was Roger's right-hand man. We were all very, very tight. We were a very small unit back then. It was just 3 platoons, and one is in workups and one is deployed. So he told another brother, this legend sniper, is it a gunner that's the highest chief warrant officer? It's a gunner, isn't it?
Gunner.
Yeah, he's gunner.
I think they're Chief Warrant Officer 5 or 4. But yeah, the gunner
yes,
gunner is it's a special billet for a warrant officer.
That's my brother. I won't say his name, but he knows who he is just because he's still in, I believe, and he's still doing the damn thing. And he has some rage too, and he's got children, and he has problems at home, and he's been maybe 7 tours, and he comes from even a few years before me, but we have the same brothers, and Captain Dill or Major Dill was his platoon commander at one time at Force or something, and he said, Rudy, I heard something about you a long time ago, that you're event driven, and I never heard that, and it's true. I think some of us are that way, and good. Embrace it. So find new events to keep driving towards. The struggle is sometimes when we have no event and we have no pinnacle or we have no Everest. When we are bored or down, all the negativity can seep in. And I think it's because our brains and our physiology and nervous system has been hardwired to engagement. So what I do with Force Blue, and I'll get into Force Blue more later, but I'm just thinking of this as you were speaking on it about engaging. I was just doing my last dive a few days ago, and the work we're doing under there, and my teammates, Tom and Jay, I've got a legend Green Beret Ranger that invaded Panama. He's like close to 60 years old, and he's crushing tanks subsurface, working his ass off, just brilliant. Jay Casello, he was enlisted and then became an officer in pararescue, rescue officer, legend. Then we've got a Royal Marine Commando, and then I've got a freaking British SBS guy, and he's so pale, and his name is Ghost. Anyway, this is the team. This is the Rainbow Six. This is Tom Clancy of conservation. Like, we're the baddest fucking Rainbow Six of conservation. And as we're on the boat and we plan the dive, we're checking gear, and I just like get into my breathing, and I'm looking at the ocean. I'm already mentally going through my process, and I just feel a sense of calm and a sense of excitement at the same time. And my God, when we get up and then we grab our bone saws because we've got to do construction under there, and we grab the amoxicillin, we're injecting these corals full of antibiotics to save them. It feels like I'm coming out of that helo. It feels the same as rolling off of that Zodiac in the middle of the night and swimming in. It feels the same. And then that first water hits, and the coldness of it, and the the tactile experiences, and then the mental hyper focus. Oh my gosh. I mean, if I could say anything to our bros and our sisters that are struggling for stimulus, find a stimulus like that. Find a stimulus that brings all your senses back and is physical and requires a mental focus and attention that will remind you of doing those last weapons checks and hitting that forward assist, just even though your weapons are clean as fuck. And, you know what I mean?
You're still tapping it. Now at this point, it's superstition.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's so rad. Anyway, yes, man, I was just there a few days ago, and can you believe it? Because we've been working on these reefs long enough, we're bringing them back. Now we're getting massive, charismatic megafauna, shark, tons of reef shark, and now nurse shark and reef shark. And as I was working, so that our fins don't hit any of the periphery of reef, and my ears are bothering me a little bit for it, but we have to work upside down. Head is down, fins are up, and we're about 30 or 40 feet down. And I see this shape, and you're so focused. By the way, I'm making like best friends with these little gobies, and this little beautiful triggerfish keeps coming in, kind of hanging and talking to me a little bit. And there's beautiful freaking moray eels. It's like they know we're there to help them. And so I see this big shape looming over my buddy Tom, the Green Beret Ranger, and he's a big boy, about 6'4", and about 260 pounds, and it makes him look small. And I've been all over the world diving, so I think it's got to be a manta ray. This thing's got 10-foot wide wings. And then there's another one behind him, these wings, and it's an eagle ray, a spotted eagle ray.
Wow.
2 of them. And they're going in racetracks because the reef is coming back, and all the cleaner fish and all the things that feed from it are coming back. And I'm like, yes, I'm fighting the fucking good fight, and we're going to win this motherfucker. And I don't care if people think I'm crazy or think I'm ambitious, but I believe that we are here, and why Force Blue was created is to save the planet and save us. Because look what impact it's making to even our brothers and sisters. They're like, Rudy started that and is doing that. And if he can do that, I can do whatever I have passion for, and I can put it into, I can plan it, and then I can rehearse it, and I can execute it. Rudy did it, and I can do it too. Anyway, it's so freaking amazing. It fires me up. It keeps me going. It keeps me, even at 47 years old, still so young, you know?
I think you said something, we said a lot of really good stuff there, but one of was that hits me is like, you said, find something. And you said this on another podcast. You're like, and if you can't find it, create it.
Yes. And look at the confidence that we are inspiring people. They will be able to create it because we're inspiring them. You all, my people at Article 15. Who else? Combat flip-flops. I mean, they're making things, creating things, utilizing all the skills we had as warfighters and as communicators. Because I will say in the Marine Corps, what makes us so effective is that nobody communicates and plans like we do. Also, our instruction, and when we go to schooling, man, our instruction, because of what, 20,000 years of professional militaries evolving to us, we have it as a science and an art. And let us embrace that. Use it forward. Go with it forward. Now, I've never been to college. I'm not patient enough, but I used my military college, if you will, to empower me now as an entrepreneur, as a conservationist, as a speaker for our community. And if I can do it, there's so many more Rudy Reyes is waiting to become out there. I believe I'm already in a space where I got this young actor named Jack Murillo.
I love Jack Murillo.
I love Jack too.
That's
Jack
you know who Jack is? Jack is, look at this. This is the Marine Corps infantryman in his natural.
Oh, that guy,
habitat.
he is awesome. He is
brother,
awesome.
And I've got him into some projects, and he's doing great work now.
He
Jack
works with Donnie a lot, man, and Vet TV.
Yes, he's with Vet TV. Oh, Donnie O'Malley, by the way, another one. His humor is so crass and heinous. I have a daughter, and of course, the stuff with the women is out of control.
Out of
and
control.
At first, I'm like, Donnie, this shit is too much, man. But you know what? I love that man so much. I'll tell you why. He has worked. He works with his team every freaking day, and he is a model of the Marine Corps work ethic. And he's he's the model of Semper Fi, of always faithful.
Always.
So look at these examples out there. Think of all the other future men and women like us that will be the next leaders and the next battlefield commanders of warrior transition.
Yeah. So let's dive into a little bit of the transition, because your story is like many veterans getting out that have seen horrific things, and you get out and you're missing the adrenaline rush and trying to adapt to civilian world, which is the first 6 months to 2 years is
punching
brutal.
people in the throat in the street.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fuck, I've been there, dude. Yeah.
I went through all that too. At first I was an extreme workaholic. Is part and parcel of PTSD, and I now call it post-traumatic growth, PTSD, post-traumatic growth.
Love it.
Colonel Grossman wrote that book on killing and then on combat, right? I went to hear him speak, and he encourages us to keep our warrior skills sharp, not just because we're Ruby Ridge, freaking militia wackos that are waiting for the Russians to come over here. It's because by keeping the skills and the pride and the culture that made us so much of who we are, by keeping those things still practiced, you have a connection to a lineage that goes so far back. And that's why I stay physically fit. That is why I'm in the ocean. That's why I do these adventure and survival races. That's why I still shoot and move and communicate. And why I think I love nature so much more, because I'm in the bush, I'm in the forest, I'm in the mountains, I'm in the oceans. And look what it's done for me. It's healed me. It's healed me so much, man. Because after about 3 or 4 years of being a personal trainer and a coach and all of this, still those things came back. Or actually, they'd always been there, but I thought I could outrun them with work. And then I started drinking, and then I thought I could outrun it with drinking at night to sleep. And then I got into drugs super hard after I got into Hollywood. I'd never tried drugs before in my life. I didn't try drugs till I was 37 or 38 years old. Wow. And then that became my event. I would just, because I would only do the hardest drugs to completely numb myself. And also there was a certain hatred I had too. There was very compound stuff. Think about this. At that time, all of the blood and treasure that we sacrificed in Iraq, and then many of my bros would die later so many, we just kept going. And then I started doing counterterrorism, and we gave it all up there. And then there's immense slaughter and tyranny happening with ISIS. And then everything we did, and I was obsessed. Oh my God, it's so horrible, but I was obsessed with watching the ISIS videos of murder and beheadings and children murdering other people. I don't know why I was obsessed with it, but I do know now it's because I wanted to feel that pain, because I didn't think it was fair that all my men were gone. And then how about all of us that lived? Our fucking minds were gone. Our souls were gone. And I was so angry, and I was so sad. And so I just started falling apart. And I guess I could present well enough that nobody really noticed until it was too late.
Yeah, dude. I did the same shit. I got out in 2012, 2 months after we got home from Afghanistan. And
yes, I did something similar. I got out 2 weeks after Fallujah. I re-enlisted and extended out there, and I didn't even know that would be an issue. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get out, get home, and go back. Yeah, done.
Yeah, let's go be successes like we were over there, right?
Yeah, I was going to lead vast enterprises, and what ended up happening was the complete opposite, right? My relationship with the girl I was dating at the time became super unstable because I didn't want to be anywhere else. Man, it was a total mind fuck to just come back to regular, civilian life.
Sure.
And I lived with a Marine too, like my boy Luke, that we got out together, and we got an apartment down in PB in San Diego.
Oh, and that's a dangerous place, brother. PB and OB. I got involved with some bikers. I was doing security for some heavy weight being moved.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't give. I think I was excited about killing myself and breaking myself down to nothing. I didn't give a fuck no more. You know.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go
And
ahead.
it's the same kind of scenario, right? Like at this point, like I didn't die over there. Like nothing's going to kill me over here. I'm basically invincible. You know,
Sure.
I'm doing 100 miles an hour on a bright red BMW that I just bought down, Balboa Parkway there.
Yes.
On the 5, down to my girlfriend's place in like Crown Point. Like I'm living on the ocean. Like I got it all together, right? I'll do whatever I want.
Seemed like it, right?
Yeah. And then that relationship fell apart and I started drinking even more. And dude, shit just got bad, man. Shit got bad to the point where fuck, I haven't drank alcohol or used drugs in like 3.5 years, man.
Good for you, bro.
And
good for you.
thank you, man.
Good for you.
And I say
That's
that because
very hard. I still drink, but I go without drugs for some time. But when I get really hurting, fearful, angry, actually the truth is when I slow down and there's nothing beautiful ahead of me to accomplish is when I fall down. But they're getting less and less, and because of Force Blue, and I'm always in charge of it, I always have that. So really, Force Blue has saved my life.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible, man. And I don't say that to like fucking be braggadocious or anything like that, but I just know that there's somebody that's listening to this podcast right now
100%.
that's doing the same shit that I was doing that doesn't know that there's a way out.
Yes.
And there is.
You know,
like, I'm an example of that.
We have a private little Facebook page of my people, a bunch of damn cowboys, and it's Recon Cats and Marsoc and Sark Coremans and Snipers. And I guess maybe, guys, because I got out bros earlier than this next generation, I went through the fall down earlier too. So I picked myself up earlier too. So now I'm finding myself, I'm ahead of the power curve and leading all these others. There was a time 6-7 years ago, I thought it was only me that was in pieces inside. I thought it was only me that like I had no reason to get up from bed ever, except I continued to contract or a movie or a TV thing, but I needed an event because if there was no event, I had no desire to even leave. I became a hermit,
introvert, man. Yeah,
introvert, and I noticed like I stopped giving a fuck about training, everything. I just didn't care. I didn't have anything to live for anymore. I have my 2 children, but my children were not even enough. And then my son was taken from me because I gave them the ammunition too. His mother loved to see me fight, loved to see me, her badass freaking dude, and she's this beautiful, sexy thing. And we were doing drugs too. But I gave them all the ammunition that one day when she wanted to freaking take him, and I was not prepared. That helped me get serious, and I lost a lot of work. I became almost homeless, and I spent a lot of money for legal counsel and then for anger management and violence classes, and I lost a lot of work. And then in my space of entertainment, there were people that were saying Rudy's just too unstable. You can't, don't bring him on. So then the contracting world said, hey, you're perfect for us. And I've been contracting too. So I went right over to Africa, and it was fantastic because now I'm fighting again. But it wasn't the same. And as soon as it was over, I was even in a deeper hole. Not even my kids, not even my contracting, not even my bros were enough. I needed to create something that brought back the ethos. And that is what's brought my brothers back. That's what has brought my children back. That has brought me back home. You see what I'm saying?
100%, dude. It's very, very clear to me now, and it wasn't before, that it has nothing to do with outside circumstances. At the time, dude, when I was like at my lowest emotionally and physically, I was at my highest financially and stuff on the outside. But what I realized is that none of that stuff matters, dude. And you can't be genuinely happy. You can't be genuinely fulfilled unless you're genuinely happy with yourself and you love who you are, man. And you will not change, Rudy. You will not change until the pain gets great enough. And I believe that because that's my story.
I saw it happen to me, and I saw it happen to all the rest of my bros. And the thing is, with us type of men, our pain threshold is so high.
Oh yeah, I like to fuck myself up a lot.
Before we get there, it's very easy for us to kill ourselves or kill others or be in prison, and or be in a. I was put away for a whole year. Thank God, thank creation, or I think again, I must have been created to come back and make this happen for all of us. It's so wild, isn't it? Because we all can relate, and we are not alone in that. And when I was going through it at my lowest, I thought it was only me, and that I was the only fuck up of Recon that can't keep it. Well, now my there now, and we've seen where you're going. How do we do the same? And I said, I'll show you how. So that's what we're doing. And now, I'm working with another great Marine in Hong Kong, David Wood.
I was hitting him up this morning.
Clothing company now. Yeah. All these things. I started working with Sorenex a few years ago. Bert Soren, and then Rick Elder, who's the president of Beyond Clothing. He took a chance on me, brought me back into modeling, and then I started filming again. Now everything is rolling forward. But it first took a few people I respected to believe in me again. Then I started believing in myself, and I got clear enough to understand I must now create something, because not even me working for other amazing people is going to be enough. I need to create something, and that's what I've been doing. And now I guess I'm a conservationist and an entrepreneur. I'm working and a shareholder in my company with Virtus. And this is still just the beginning. Now I'm speaking a lot to many different audiences, Gold Star families, veterans, children, conservation. I've got Earth X, which is the Earth Day, Texas, coming up soon. And I'm their keynote speaker with Force Blue. We're doing all of these other things because we've hit a tipping point of health and self-respect, self-dignity. When you get that back, nothing can stop you.
You're absolutely right, man. Wait, what else you got on the sheet here?
Yeah, man. I think he's said a lot of really good things. Twice now, you said it took like someone else to believe in you.
Yeah, it did.
That's a huge
It started
deal,
from
man.
the beginning. It started with Bobby Orr, the Dean of Boys, and then my track coach in high school was also my painting teacher, Gene McLean, then Tune Man Sid, and then Roger Sparks and First Sergeant Smith, and then Bert Soren and Rick Elder and Ian Asbury, the lead singer of the Cult. That is my freaking dad now, and he's an artist and a warrior, and he's friends with the Dalai Lama, and he helps me through shit.
Oh yeah,
he helps me through shit. He's like, deep breaths. All of the outside does not matter. Eternal spirit, eternal light, and mate, keep kicking ass. He always says, mate, keep going hard. Even when I'm tired. No, go harder then, because it's going to work. It starts fulfilling itself. When we're riding a bicycle, man, when you're going really slow on a bicycle, it's really tough. But when you're pedaling hard, even though you can only see, 50 feet ahead of you on that trail, you're so engaged. You can navigate through anything. And that's what I do in my life now.
So one of the things we're really big on, Rudy, is morning routines and why it's important. And I know that you have a kind of a specific morning routine where you talk about pacing and spinal alignment and turning everything on. Can you share with our listeners?
Wake up, I'll twist first the bed a little bit, and then I start pacing. And I normally, I just flew into New York last night. I didn't get to listen to my Eric Thomas, but I did think about him.
Dude, E.T. the hip hop preacher, man.
He is so legit, and I'm turning everybody I can onto him. I start just like getting on that boat. I'm going through my mental checklist. Get back to a space where it's a mental checklist, and I was setting up on my computer, like to work with you. I go to kick it with Delgado after this, my sniper brother, and I think he's with Black Rifle, and he's got a tattoo place up in Bronx. Then I film after that with the BBC, and I'm just freaking hitting those 3-meter targets. Now I've got my momentum. Now I've got my energy. And I'm going to get a push-up workout in between. And then tonight I'm going to see my fellas out here from the community do karaoke. That's the one thing for fun. Everybody asks me, what do you do for fun? I always say, oh, I train, kickbox, maybe swim. Like, I mean, do you do anything like just for fun? I'm like, well, isn't that fun? And then they wait, there is one thing. I love karaoke.
I would fucking pay to see that shit.
Oh, it's so incredible. But I think it's because we get to express ourselves. It's like, this is your karaoke. You're able to express yourself. You're able to share. And you're with your people. That's what I do at karaoke with all my homies.
Yeah, let's go into it. Let's go.
Dude, all right, Rudy. First of all, the next time you do karaoke, you have to take a video and put it on Instagram. Or
oh, for sure. I'll get one tonight. I'll get one tonight. It'll probably be Sister Christian.
Upcoming movie or
yeah, Rudy. What do you got? What do you got going on? In the next for the rest of this year, 2019. What's on the Rudy Reyes docket?
New movies, new books, new.
Sure, it's
exploration.
This 2019 is hitting a trajectory and a speed that I could not even imagine. I'm booked solid till June. I now work for Spartan Ogoge. I am their Kritea, like their head cadre for their adventure systems. And I take people that are searching for what we found in the military. They're searching for that crucible and that coming of age through pain, suffering, misery, and then teamwork collective. I'm in Namibia next. I was in Greece and Hong Kong and Mongolia before. I go back to Greece this year. I did a movie last year called Semper Fi. I brought Jack Murillo on it. Yes, you're going to love it. Jai Courtney plays our platoon sergeant, and he's absolutely magnificent. We military advised, me and my buddy Chris Joliet, who is a he's a full-time SWAT guy or counter-drug guy in Pittsburgh and a reservist platoon sergeant at the Force Company there. He's a military advisor now with me. We started a company called Jack of All Trades, LLC. That movie just got picked up by Lionsgate, so it will be coming out this year. I've got 3 television shows in the works, and because of non-disclosures, I can't say, but I just got to the second screening of a show that will be one of the most epic Jack London adventure odyssey through every climb and place on the planet. And if I get it, I will be representing the United States of America, and it's for a major network. And I just got the email yesterday. I also have Force Blue, and we are looking at another $3 million contract in Florida to protect the Florida Reef Trap, which makes $6.3 billion for Florida. So that's why now I have Senator Gaynor, and I have the government of Florida behind me and lockstep with me. We have another mission coming in Hawaii with turtles, protecting sea turtles and tagging sea turtles. My Royal Marine Commando, John Schleyer, and marine biologist, he's working on a mission in south of the Maldives that will be a 4-year-long mission in which we're going to terraform first, kill all the rats and cut down all of the coconut palms and replant hardwood trees to bring in birds so that the rains will go through the guana and bring the nitrogen into the ambient reef. And we're going to be collecting and reporting on all this for 4 years, and we'll be living out in the field doing it. So we've got conservation, I've got entertainment, I'm speaking, I've got my own personal health, and that is wealth. My own personal health is coming back stronger than ever. And then we have David Wood working on clothing systems, and we're traveling the world, outfitting people, the same kind of adventure, mind, and passion, heart. The name of the company is Virtue. That's what I have going on right now, and it's still just the beginning. There's a few films that I'm working on too. I've been writing on one with Joliet, and I can't tell you. I mean, it's a big one. It's they're looking at $70 to $100 million film. And,
wow.
Yes, and we're going to be giving our people employment. It's incredible. Imagine. I can't give too. I'll just say this. Imagine 310 to Yuma set in Pakistan and Afghanistan. That's a good way to put it. That's all I'll say. Yeah, it's so rad, and it's by an illustrious producer and an incredible director that just won at Cannes a couple years ago and was right there at the Oscars too. So there's so much happening. Yet, really, to me, it's all the same thing. I only do what I love. I do not have a job. My work is my passion. And I just continue to work because it is my passion. And these things start unfolding, just like when we're riding that freaking BMX bike, or when we're driving at night in our car, our headlights, they only see 100 feet, 200 feet ahead. And there's twists and turns in the road, but we can navigate. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what I'm up to this year.
Dude, that's a
You're a
full
lazy
fucking plate, dude. I want to talk to you more about that. Yeah. Nice, dude. Real fucking nice, Wade.
At a tipping point, I think is what happened. It took all those decades before to get the skill, the confidence, the competence, and now we could mention that out there in the entrepreneurial world. Do everything it takes to be bankable. And if you don't know what that is, look at other people that are bankable. Look at other people that are successful. You show up camera ready, and I mean that in a spiritual way. The camera is an observer, and it does not lie. Show up in life camera ready.
I was pointing at my secondary over here. Yeah. Dude, that's another thing, man. All right, Rudy. Tim Ferriss asked a question to a lot of his guests on his podcast, and we kind of borrowed it from him for a little bit. So permanently. Without further ado, if you had a blank fucking billboard, like one that the whole world can see, blank white billboard, what is Rudy Reyes' message to the world? What's going on the billboard?
Last time I saw the Cult, and Ian was on stage, and it was with Bush and Stone Temple Pilots. This is like 6-8 months ago. Ian just kept screaming with his tambourine over his head, saying, "Energy! Energy! Energy! Energy!"
It's infectious.
It's infectious, man.
Yeah, bro.
Energy makes energy. I was thinking about that.
Yes, it does. And it creates opportunity, and it clears the mind. When we have no energy is when the depression is there. And then everything starts falling apart inside. You know, as warriors, how we're conditioned and trained and then put to the ultimate test, that under stress, target fixation happens, auditory exclusion. But since we're professionals, under combat stress, we immediately push vision out, immediately look left and right, get on the hook, immediately pushing senses out. When we have energy, that's it.
Boom. And then we also conclude with Suit Soldier kind of did a nice job, and he wraps up his podcast in a similar capacity where we ask our guests to institute the mission of the day, our mod. So like something small and simple that our listeners could maybe help make some changes the next week, the next month, or just a daily routine, something like a little mission of the day, a little challenge.
Brother, it seems if maybe you're from LA, this seems surface driven, but it is not. This is completely purpose driven. It's not surface driven, it's purpose driven. Our people must move their bodies. Get out of the chair, get on the trail, get to the gym, do martial arts, walk after dinner with your girlfriend or wife or husband or kids. Move your body, infuse the cells with oxygen, and get the blood pumping, because the red blood cells are going to go heal where we're hurt. You must move. You must move, just like that bicycle, just like that freaking car in a windy road. You must move. And the energy begats more energy. You must move.
I love that, because literally while we waited to hop on the call with you, someone posted on Instagram that there are veterans
trying to claim
this was
obesity.
real. I thought it was a meme and it was a joke, and then he hit me up. He's like, "No, this is real, dude. There are veterans trying to claim obesity on their disability."
Wow.
That's
what is
fucking
happening?
incredible.
I thought it was a joke, and it's not a joke.
Yeah, we have to turn that around. You know what? We service never ends, and we were inspired by selfless service. One day, brothers, we're going to have some silver hair and such, and these young Marines and soldiers, airmen, these sailors, we're going to be back at the bases, and we're going to be speaking to them, and we're going to be those old crusty cats that were at boot camp for that day before you graduate to tell you how it was. And we got to inspire these kids. We got to make them. We got to remind them that they're from a lineage of excellence and of strength and sacrifice. And,
Fucking A.
And that beauty, the glory, is bedrock of excellence. So let us do that first. Let's move our bodies. Let's use that energy, and that it'll hit a quantum space. It'll hit a quantum reverberation. And I did a talk for Power Athlete Symposium 2 years ago, and it's all the highest end human performance people in the world. And Derek Winsky and Brandon Lilly and Ray Freese, all these Gunnar Peterson. Gunnar's a very close.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
My talk was on the cosmos of body. That there are universes exploding and dying and creating, and their solar systems with life, and that's here. How do we create this human spaceship to crush through gravity and explore these worlds in ourselves? And we will find it out here too.
Dude, I fucking love that. Rudy, where can everybody find you on the internet?
Sure. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing, we have rudyreyes.com, but forceblueteam.org, my 501c3 or 3C. I get the two mixed up sometimes.
501c3, yeah.
Yes, 501c3, forceblueteam.org.
People could donate there? Is there a donation?
Donate and share. We're looking for more corporate sponsors always, because I love to fight the good fight. And this planet and our oceans are the purest family I've seen. Nobody down there is taking advantage of each other for money or for prestige. They're all fighting to eat, to live, and to make children and to survive. And in doing so, bring a beauty to us as well. That is why Force Blue means so much to me. Also, check out what I'm doing with clothing, with Virtus Outdoors. You can check us out on, you can find all those links on Instagram with me. It's Real Rudy Reyes on Instagram. And my Facebook is Real Rudy Reyes, but I think it's all filled up. But I have a fan page now. It's a lot to do with. But yeah, you can find, just Google Rudy Reyes and you'll find.
Done, dude. Google that shit. Google it. Rudy, dude, thank you again so much, man, for joining us and hang out for a minute after we get off this. I'm going to thank everybody for listening to our podcast and watching. If you're watching us on the YouTube machine now, that's incredible. Thank you. If you love listening to our podcast, if you love hearing awesome guests like Rudy Reyes, make sure you subscribe to whatever platform that you're listening on, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify soon here. And leave us a review. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, reach out to us, reach out to our guests. We and they want to hear from you, 100% guaranteed.
That's right. Brother, reach out if you can to Veris Staleka, my Finnish brothers. They're doing the most magnificent clothing business, and they have a business they created called Yama, which means scraps, and they break down old military gear and they make fashion. The president is also a reserved recon man. His name is Yari. He's also one of the finest kickboxers and wrestlers, and just a brilliant, brilliant man. And he leads by example, leads from the front. Also, you guys ought to try to talk to Rick Elder and see if you can have Rick Elder, the president of Beyond, Army Ranger, one of the most brilliant and one of the most artistic and visionary men I've ever met. So there's a few more I'll talk to you about.
Sweet.
You should reach out to.
Love to do that. Until next time, we're out.
Semper Fi.